everybody, my name's Fiona Elliott. You're with Elio Moon Arts, and today we're going to do a tutorial for Couture Creations Natural Beauties collection. Australian Natural Beauties collection it's called. This is the 6x6 pad which I'm going to be working with today. I'm going to show you some of the pieces that you'll need out of this pad. Or if you've got the 12x12, one of these, you can also use a sheet of that to also create this design. So the colours that I've used. So we've got this plain, we're going to create a card first of all. This plain coloured card. Now let me have a look. I'll see if I can find the name. I've got it all written down here, but now I've got to go search for it. Avalara. It's called. It's one of their cardstocks, Avalara. I've never heard of that before, but anyway, so you'll need a piece of that if you're going to do yours exactly the same as mine. And you will also need one of these books. Now I have used this one out of the book, and I have also grabbed, on the last page of the book, you've got these little cutouts that you can do. There was 2 or 3 pages of those, I think. Let me have a look, I'll soon tell you. And I used some of those as a free double-sided. 24 pattern papers, I'm not sure, 8 double-sided designs. So there's either 2 or 3 of each design in that little book. So that's what we're using today. I've just got a bit of ribbon that I've made into a bow, and I've just cut the little things in it that we're also going to use. We'll need some double-sided tape, some little foam squares or circles, whichever one you have. I've just got these 2 different sorts that I've been using for a little while now. You will need, I'm going to also use some of this tape, or you can use glue. Choice is yours, totally your choice. I'm going to use the tape because it's a little tidier, and I've got a couple of other projects I need to do. Now I've cut out this koala as well. I wasn't going to use it on this project, but I don't know now. I'm thinking that perhaps I will. But what I will do is I will ink around the edges. See how we've got this white piece here that we can see where the 2 coloured pages fit together? I just want to cover that up just to bring it back down a bit. So let's hop to it. Let's have a look. So our first piece of card that we will need needs to be cut at 11 3/4 by 6 inches. So 11 3/4 length and by 6 inches. And then we're going to score that at 5 3/4, which will give you half. So that's what I've got here. My card I'm going to have lifting up. The next piece will be a decorative bit of paper you're going to need, and it will measure, let me double check, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm just going to start putting this together as we go. So, no, we won't. I'll go through all this. So we're going to have this piece. So it's 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. This one underneath here is 11 3/4 by 6, and it's folded in half at 5 3/4. Okay, so that's where that's going to go. Next we have these 2 pieces. So this is our second layer, and our second layer is going to be 4 inches by 4 inches on our plain piece, and we'll centre that on here. And the second piece for that is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Just be mindful as you're putting this together that you're making sure your pattern runs the right way. So this piece I've made sure it's facing upwards because I'm going to flip it up. This one here I'm making sure it flips upwards as well. And then our last piece of our 3-layered card that we're going to use is a plain piece that's 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And then we're going to use another piece that's 2 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch. So we're basically working with squares today. You could do this with any other shape that you may have. You may have some dies of varying sizes that you might like to do this, whether it be squares, circles, whatever. You could do that also with those. Okay, so and then we're just going to layer them. So first off, let's start doing this piece So I'm just going to grab some tape. Eventually I'm going to get myself one of those roller things. Oh, here we go. Here it starts. Double-sided tape. If I can get it started. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to take that off the card. I'm just going to pop that across here. Snip him off. Top, bottom and middle. And then I might go a little bit the other way. Yeah, that should be enough. Top, bottom and middle. Okay, sorry about the banging. Just drop those scissors on the table. So this should adhere. I'm just going to grab my little pokey tool, wherever I've put it. Okay, I'll have to use my little blade. So I've got a pokey tool that I use that's from Couture Creations as well. And by the way, this pattern paper is the Couture Creations Australian Natural Beauties. And I'm really loving this collection. I made another card a few weeks ago. Sorry that I haven't been around as much. I've just been really busy with some family stuff, and then I got a little bit unwell, so I had to take a little bit of a break. But I'm starting to get myself back. I actually found it really hard to videotape something. I got really scared of it for some reason. I don't know why, just a bit of anxiety about it. So the last 3 days I've been going to make this video, and yes, well, it's taken me a little bit of time to get to it. Anyway, we're getting there today. So now that I've done that, I want to make sure I've got this facing the right way. Oops, and I want to make sure that my card's going to face the right way. So I'm going to put mine down like, I just want to make sure I get it fairly centered, like so. Okay, very happy with that. So the next piece, this piece here, I want to, I think I'm wanting to have it sit up. So I'm going to adhere this piece to here first, and then I'm going to adhere it with some sticky dots. So let's grab a bit of tape for this piece. Move that one out the way so I don't get them confused. Okay, so same thing again. We're going to put 3 lots of tape on this one as well, because it's just going to be adhered flat. But the bottom piece we want to pop up a little bit, and I think we'll do that with the next layer as well. So this is our 3 7/8 piece, and we're going to adhere that to our 4x4 bit of card. Okay, just need to trim that one a little bit. There we go. Into the bin you go. Okay, so I'm just going to smush that down a bit, and I've got my little blade and lift up that piece. Make sure I've got the glue staying down. Yep, good stuff. So I'm hoping to make a couple more sort of quick videos in the next few weeks, just to get back on top of my game again. Just takes me a minute when I've had a break. I get a little bit nervous about coming back and filming. Okay, so now I'm going to have a look at it, make sure it's facing the right way, the way that I want it. Make sure this is the right side that I want up. And then the same thing again. We're just going to sort of eyeball it and get it reasonably central. And I'm just going to grab some of these foam, some foam, double-sided foam dots. And I'm just wondering whether I need to put a double layer. Give them, I think these are about 1 mil high, so they're pretty standard size. So this orangey yellowy type of, it's almost like a gold colour too, I suppose you could say, colour that I'm using is called Avalara. Avalara cardstock is the colour, and it's really pretty. So if you go to your local craft store, you could, if they don't have the supplies in that I'm talking about, if you talk to them, I'm sure they'd be willing to get them in for you. Couture Creations is an Australian company, and they also do a lot of international stuff as well, I'm led to believe. But I really like their latest stuff that's coming out. Is just really lovely. So I'm just going to centre this piece, and I've just put it up by 1. I didn't go the 2. I did think about it. So it's just giving it that little bit of dimension. I didn't want too much. So we're going to do the same with this one. So I'm going to take my little piece of cardstock here, pop it there for a minute, and we're going to put our tape on this one. Oh, where's my end? Okay. So this is the Avalara one is our 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. And this smaller piece with the decorative paper from the Australian Natural Beauties is our 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. And we're just making a layered card. So this one will have 3 layers on it. Okay, and a bit of tape. So once again, we're going to adhere that to our 2.5 by 2.5 inch square before we put some foam dots on the back of it to rise that up a little bit so it comes a little forward. You may need to, I'm not sure whether you get unless you've got some square envelopes already that this would fit into, you could do this with any shape. So if you've got a card base already there that you don't have to make up, you could certainly by all means use that, and then just cut your, whether it be a rectangle or whatever size your card is, you could also do that. So if you had a 5 by 7 piece of card, you could by all means use that and create this same thing, only yours would be in a rectangle. You know, if you were doing a DL size card, you could also do that as well. So making sure that my design is facing upwards and that my cardstock is on the textured side facing up. So I'm just going to line that up on there again. There we go. And this time do I want that raised up? Yeah, I do. Okay, where do I put the dots? So once again, we're going to do these sticky squares, double-sided foam tape, I think they call it. Okay. Just lifting that bit of adhesive, protective adhesive stuff off. Now the sentiment that I'm going to use for this one is, it's Enjoying Life is what it's called. That comes out of the Australian Natural Beauties, Couture Creations Australian Natural Beauties ephemera pack. And they have a few other bits. I'll show you a few pieces of that. So I'm just going to put the adhesive foam tape on the back of this one as well. And I'm just going to raise it up a little bit as well. So if that popped up there, just center that on there as best you can. I think that's pretty good. So this is my card so far. So I've got my little bow that I'd made before. And look, I will make another one of these just in case there's somebody out there that doesn't make bows and might want to see how I did that one. I'll just grab some of this here. So I don't cut the ribbon off. I fold a loop, and I grab one loop, put it over the other and pull it through the little hole at the bottom. And I just play with it until I get it looking the way that I want it to look and the size that I want it to be. I just find they sit flatter when you do them like this. And then I'm just going to chop a piece off here. I'm going to chop that little piece off there. And then to get the little points on the end, I just fold the bit of ribbon in half, like so. And I just cut from the top corner across. and that makes that little V shape. So I'll do that again. So I'm going to fold it in half, and it doesn't matter which way you fold it in half. I'm just going to go from the edge and up. And now we've got two little V's on our cards. I mean, you could make a gift box and make a few of these cards out of this Couture Creations Australian Native Beauties, and give them as a gift. I might use this one down here. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that in a minute. Okay, so now I have a piece of this Avalara cardstock, and this one is cut at, let me have a look at my paperwork, 2 1/4 inches lengthways and 3/4 of an inch this way. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a bit of tape, and I'm going to adhere that to this backing. So I'm just going to use my little bit of tape. Just going to pop it onto the back of this sentiment, like so. Okay, and we're off and running again. So I'm just going to lift that up if it wants to lift off. Might try this corner. Okay, that's great. Oops. Let's just pull that piece off there. And I'm just going to center it onto this smaller piece that we've got. Once again, I'm making sure that I've got that textured side of the paper up, because that's the side that I want to be facing up. Unless you want the smooth side, I like the textured side. I'm sort of just going to center this into place. Okay, and I'm going to use some of these foam dots again. Oh, come up. Okay, please come up. Yep, there we go. And again. Big fingers in the way. Okay. I've got a bit of hair of some sort, probably from my cat or my dog. I'm going to say on that one. I'm going to say my cat, he was in here sitting on my desk earlier. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on the bottom of this little square, but I also want to make sure I leave enough space so that you can still see the design and that line behind there. And with our kookaburra, I'm going to put some dots on him. I actually might use these smaller ones for him. These are 1/8, I want to say. And so I'll just use a few of these. Now this paper that I'm using also is all double-sided. So even if you had made something with this, you wouldn't have to necessarily hide the other side if you've got a project that you want to use it for. And yeah, so all of these papers, so the 6.5 by 6.5 inch, inch or centimeters. Let me have a look. Inch collection pad thing. It is all double-sided, and same with the 12 by 12 ones. They are also all double-sided. And this, the Avalara coloured paper, it too has two distinct different sizes. So this side that I've got facing up is quite textured, and this one is less textured. So that's purely up to you. So I'm going to put our little kookaburra. I want him to sort of slide in behind. Yep, like that. So he looks a little bit three-dimensional. And then I'm going to grab just some all-purpose art glue from Couture Creations, and I'm going to put our little bow on. Where do I want it? Yeah, probably that way. So I'm just going to add the glue directly to the back of this. Don't need a great heap, and I'm not worried about making sure that the little tails are stuck right down. I just want this as a little bit of a feature on the corner. I might add a little bit of glue to this one just here, because I just want that to come in over the side a little bit better. There we go. Where did I put that? There it is. Okay, so there we have our Australian, oh, that's the wrong one. That's the one for this. I've lost my pin. I've lost everything on my desk today. It hasn't been a great day for keeping things where they should be. So this is our Australian Natives Enjoying Life. Sorry, Australian Native Beauties Enjoying Life card. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like this video, it would be very great. I would be very grateful if you click the like, share it, share my video, and also subscribe to my channel. The end of this month, I do have a competition coming up where I'm actually going to put out the details for it over on the weekend, the end of this week, where I have a journal that's going up for grabs now that I've reached 100 subscribers. Yeah, so if you want to be part of that, you need to be subscribed to my channel. I need to be able to, if you subscribe to my channel and you make it private, I can't see who you are. So if you put your name in the bottom, no, I'll wait until the end of the weekend. I've got a couple of things. So I'm also on Facebook. So YouTube, it's Leo Moon Arts on YouTube. I'm also Leo Moon Arts on Instagram and Facebook. And I also have Fiona Elliott on Facebook as well. So if you would like to pop over to any of those and subscribe, I would be happy to join you all up. I hope you enjoyed this card. It was a lot of pleasure making this one. I just thought it's really quite effective. I think if I was to do this again, I possibly might put 2 lots of these foam squares underneath, like one on top of the other, to give it like a bit more of a lift in it. But other than that, I just think it's beautiful. Have a great day, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you.